The culture is absolutely...
The gut ain't running anymore! Calling both games.
At the crossing of the Three Rivers, Pittsburgh is moving forward with what they tried to stubbornly avoid for years. Life without the leader of men. It's not as hard as you'd think with how destroyed he was physically. Even then, there is much to do. Coaches and GMs retiring, players leaving, the works. On the O-line, a catastrophic wreck last season, Chuck Sikorafor is back at right tackle. And it will hopefully be supported by Mason Cole and James Daniels, a beacon of light on a shitty Bears line by itself. Gunnar Olszewski joining the fray on special teams over the departing Ray McLeod. But on the defensive front, the biggest piece gained may be off the field. And that's saying something considering they signed Levi Wallace and Miles Jack to replace departing veterans. Brian Flores is somehow not dead. He's got an NFL gig, even if it's as an assistant. It's probably the biggest surprise of the year considering he's suing the damn league. But what about quarterback? The Steeler way is to rarely splurge in the offseason, but perhaps a placeholder could work until they find their next savior in the draft. I know just the man. Mitch Trubisky! Pittsburgh, get ready to kiss all the titties! Damaged merchandise that was overhyped to hell and back. It almost sounds like Yinzers themselves. Maybe one of them can throw a football properly.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Quarterback, Pittsburgh.
The successor to the leader of men. Yinner Yinzer and all of us swells with pride. Almost 40 years ago, the Steelers passed on Dan Marino in the first round to select Senor Sack Gabe Rivera. Today, they hope to rectify that mistake, even if Pickett is nowhere near Marino's caliber. I can hear the derision about this pick from all across football.
His hands are tiny. He played in a weak ACC. Pittsburgh made a fan service pick.
You know what I think about all of that? You can suck my dick. He won't be expected to start immediately, but once he does, we know the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. At least in marketing. This also includes drafting a wide receiver with character issues in the second round. George Pickens will become a Pro Bowler that will run himself out of town in 5 years. It is set in stone. A world without the leader of men. It's a relief for me, if only so we can avoid the intense propaganda campaign the league ran for him last season. A new era has begun for the Black and Gold Brigade. One where hopefully the only drama will be Chase Claypool being overconfident about his abilities. At least until George Pickens begins his Antonio Brown arc. The Steelers are finally moving into the 21st century. Guys like Chris Boswell, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Deontay Johnson were given hefty new extensions that are guaranteed money past the first year. A revolutionary concept in Pittsburgh, I know. Besides an offensive line that will probably be complete shit, the future is in the allegedly small hands of Kenny Pickett. Yinzers merely tolerate Mitch Trubisky as the current year's Tommy Maddox. A convenient injury by week 6 should set the succession plan in motion. The AFC, just like last season, is going to be a bloodbath. You can make the argument for nearly every team to be able to reach the promised land of the playoffs. And as a fan of the game, you can't ask for much more. The AFC East is pretty cut and dry, though. Buffalo will be taking that division with ease. The AFC North will go to Baltimore. Considering that they're finally healthy and able to field a respectable team should do wonders for them. To me, the AFC South is a coin flip between Indy and Tennessee. And I'm going to err on the side of the Titans for the time being. It's very close, though, just like the AFC West. Every team has a shot at winning the division. And for my sake, I'm going to go bold and pick the Broncos. I know, insane, but they actually have a QB and hopefully non-shitty play calling. That's all they needed. And as for the wildcards, it's a tough call, but I'm going to go with Kansas City, the Chargers, and the Bengals. I personally can't wait to see how wrong I am in these predictions, as always. Maybe they'll be as slow to develop as my vid schedule. The greatest game. In week 1. Here I am thinking, oh, this is going to be a relaxing week of forming narratives and setting the stage for future games. Pittsburgh and Cincy took that assumption and shoved it right down my throat. He picked up where last year left off. This season's gonna fucking kill me. For this contest, it's both the beginning of a new era and the continuation of emergence. In Pittsburgh, they are finally free from the shackles of the leader of men. With his retirement, one of the last connections to the Super Bowl era has moved on to new pastures. To take his place under center, a kisser of titties. After drunkenly stumbling their way to the playoffs last season, the Steelers are looking towards a rock-solid defense to take them anywhere near relevance. Their first challenge, a team seeking to prove last year wasn't a fluke. Cincinnati stunned the football world by going to the Super Bowl. Many Yinzers were envious, but with their dynamic offense and underrated defense, it was earned. This time around, they want to finish the job. With an improved offensive line and returning star, Cincy is seeking to maintain rare divisional supremacy. At the newly christened Paycor Stadium, the Bengals are favored by 6.5. Will the bullshit commence? I think we know the answer here. What you need to understand is one thing. When in doubt, trust in the high-end talent. The Steelers' defense is a relentless swarm of bald-faced hornets. When you intrude on their territory, they will show no mercy. They will destroy your quarterbacks. They will intercept your passes. They will annihilate your dreams. There will be at least 5 plays per half flexing the bullshit of Steeler football. Do not try to reason with it. Just embrace its power. Evan, kick all the amazing field goals you want, you cannot win. Who the hell needs an offense with this? I didn't mean actually not have a fucking offense, Steelers. Jesus, Matt Canada, you fucking suck. But not if the Steelers keep balling out like this on defense. For fuck's sake, score some more points. Oh my god, they did something on offense. Incredible. Now, only if they can't do shit afterwards. Well, Pittsburgh scored points? I mean, it was only a matter of time before the Bengals made traction on offense. You just can't terrorize their new offensive line all game. Or maybe you can. TJ fucking Watt just killed a man again. And then afterwards teabagged the entire city with an incredible interception. Send flowers to their families. Black and gold ones. The offense is getting to the goal line again. Pittsburgh's moving the ball. Holy shit! Score some more points! I didn't mean another goddamn field goal. Oh, thank God it's pass interference on the defense. A touchdown, if you please.
Trubisky flips it. Open man, Najee Harris.
They scored 6. It's like a caveman discovering fire. It only took the Steelers about 7 tries to get it in, but Pittsburgh doesn't like hearing the word no. They'll get what they want. We know from experience. Even then, it's a sizable lead, yet it still feels shaky. Maybe it's because the offense is still trying to master hooked on phonics, or you can't hold down Burrow and Chase for long. Or the Steelers' defense will continue to play balls out. These fucking legends are pulling the same bullshit they did last year. And the offense still does the same bullshit of slowly dying on the field of play. Great. I wonder if the D can get like 5 interceptions and 12 sacks or something. It's gonna be the only way Pittsburgh wins. Yinzers were hoping for more heroics on 4th and 1, but unfortunately Joe Mixon is pretty good at running the rock. Down to the goal line where they show the Steelers how to score a touchdown on less than 6 tries. On second thought, never mind, the majesty of Pittsburgh extends to a receiver's foot being out of bounds. They must settle for a field goal. Bummer. Halftime check. It's 17-6. The Steelers' defense is destroying worlds while the offense is lazy as hell. Joe Burrow's TJ Watt haunting his nightmares, and the Bengals' new offensive line is going through growing pains. Same as the Steelers' offense, as they still suck. Unfortunately, Cincy did this thing called adjusting. They tried to adapt to Pittsburgh's scheming. No matter what the Steelers threw at them, Burrow was making magic. Chase was uncoverable, and the Bengals scored a much-needed touchdown. You knew it was overdue, but perhaps now Kitty can finally meow, especially with this 2-point conversion. You're only up by 3, Steelers. Any chance you can do anything on offense? Literally anything? Just checkdowns? Who do you think's a QB? Big Ben? Pittsburgh should be crushing them with this defense, yet they're stuck out here with Canadian offense, so it's watered down and has to be translated into French. Afterwards, Gunnar Olszewski got the most yardage of any Steeler in this half. The offense couldn't do jack shit with it. Any day now, boys. Any day you can stop relying on Chris Boswell to... What the fuck is up with this camera angle? Even CBS is bored of this shitty offense. Joe Burrow takes advantage of such boredom. But then...
Here I come to save the day!
The high-end talent. Roughly the 13th time in this game it saved black and gold asses across the land. 5 turnovers for the Steeler defense. Offense, please do something besides rub your nutsack. Jesus Christ. Oh God, the Bengals are storming forward. Joe Burrow is a fucking beast. He's shredding the Steelers defense. God,
If you're up there, we need another Steelers miracle. Come on, you owe us for having to watch Big Ben under center last year.
Dadgum.
And apparently he's a good bluffer. God really is a fucking asshole. Speaking of those, anuses are clenched up and down the Ohio River. Why not let Joe Burrow open things up with a beautiful pass to Jamar Chase? Yet they quickly push to run another play. Here's the problem. This should be a touchdown. They can't challenge this since another play was already run. Technicalities reign supreme. Can they get into the end zone? The Steelers hold on third down, but here it is. All the marbles. Who will claim them?
Looks, floats,
Here I come to save the day.
incomplete.
Oh, thank you, sweet Jesus. The Steelers defense and its bullshit marches on to a fucking jet sweep on third down. Get fired, Matt. Get fucking fired. That shit that gets eaten up in middle school. Your bullshit got Najee injured too. So now Cincy gets the ball back because this game is on all of the drugs. Literally all of them. Defense, you've made about 30 great plays so far, but you're going to need about 10 more thanks to this terrible offense. Please, please stop something. Oh my god, what a fucking catch by Jamar. I don't give a shit if his toe is an inch out of bounds, just give the guy the TD. He deserves it for that amazing skill alone. How much fluke bullshit can there be in a game? For the love of all things holy, I don't want to go scorched earth. How can this get any worse? Oh no, not him. Anyone but him! He might have torn his pec. He's out for the game, maybe the season. God, we are so fucked. God damn it, stop that shit! Pittsburgh ran out of loop in the third quarter dealing with their offense. 13 seconds left. Burrow goes back to pass. A shot down the middle. Incomplete, but another flag gets them a first down. 9 seconds left. Those poor puckered holes are pruning from sweat. Burrow slings the rock, but it's coughed up thanks to the power of Steeler football. It's running slid. 4 seconds remain. One more chance for the Bengals to score. The anticipation is tremendous.
4 seconds left. Burrow dials it up. Touchdown!
Defense plays like that and the Steelers are still going to lose. Matt Canada needs to be locked in the same damn barrel Randy Fichtner was. Just kick the extra point. Fucking end it.
Trying to complete the round.
Here I
McPherson,
come to save
it's
the day.
blocked.
Oh my god. They blocked the kick. The game is tied. The bullshit is real. Suck my dick. This game should have been over about 6 separate times, yet we get overtime because UPMC needs to reach quotas in the city of Pittsburgh. We have never been happier for a long snapper to be injured than we are now. Too bad the Steelers' offense is still dog shit. Fuck you, Canada. Now Cincy can finish this wounded defense off. Do you know how much energy is sapped when they have to bail this team out at every opportunity? Without TJ Watt, there's no pass rush. They can't stop them anymore. Hayden Hurst makes an amazing grab and it's all but over. It's a chip shot. Steelers use their last perk for the block kick. Just put the dagger in my heart already.
Wilcox, snapper, Huber, holder, from 29 yards away. Oh, he missed it badly!
He fucking missed. What? What? Have none of you bastards watched Ace Ventura? Laces out! Laces fucking out! My kingdom for a long snapper! Please, offense, do something! Did he just catch that? Did Deontay fucking catch that? Holy shit, he did! There's no white outline on his foot! The Steelers did something on offense! It's happening, people! The apocalypse is nigh! Trickery Pittsburgh does is somehow working! They're finally back in field goal range! Someone can end this acid trip of a game and send us home with some semblance of... Oh no! Oh my god! No! The kick is up! Inside! Did he... Oh no, it hit the post! Oh god! They made this game end! Ah! My god! Fuck! Come on! The bullshit is unbelievably real. Since he gets the ball back, I've had about 6 heart attacks today. Other people have had an average of 9. Bengals are back in field goal ranges.
Here I come to save the day.
Who is this song even for nowadays? I don't know. Since he is back in field goal ranges, why the hell are they back at the 50? Oh my god. They're gonna get fucked on a technicality. The holy roller rule. If another offensive player picks up the ball in the final few minutes of play, the ball is dead at that spot. The Bengals are out of field goal range. Everything is fucked. The game is the rapture, revelation, and end times all in one. Cincy is punting. They're punting in overtime with 15 seconds of clock left to burn. Even they're dazed and confused. The Steelers get the ball back with less than a minute left. I have no faith in them to do anything. Just get the goddamn tie and escape from this hell. They're somehow moving down the field. I don't know if this is reality or a mirage. They've somehow opened up a portal to another dimension, and Pratt Fryermuth is somehow becoming as clutch as Heath Miller was. This fucker has carried the team right to field goal range with time winding down and the Milky Way imploding on itself. Boswell has a chance to win it from 53. Please don't let the ball doink again.
Boswell trying to get it done. Snap, placement, kick out of the way. Boswell! That's a winner!
What did I even witness? The Steelers won, but I have no idea how the hell they did it. They should have lost at least 5 separate times, yet the fluke bullshit reigns supreme again. It's gonna be the same shit as last year. I'm going to die. I am literally going to die. This team will kill me. How is this gonna get zanier than it already is? TJ Watt doesn't need surgery. Holy fucking shit, the Steelers are still going to the Super Bowl! The kick is up! Oh my god, it went through! It's good! Oh my god! The Steelers have won! We have somehow won through 17 billion shades of bullshit! And the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl! I have no idea how! I have no idea why! 3 of the worst offensive minds in the NFL today taking a bludgeon to anything resembling modern football. This is the kind of game that wouldn't be won, but lost by unforced errors in shit play calling. Today, like most matchups between these two in recent history, the Patriots live rent-free on several floors of the Highmark building. One thing became very clear to us all again. TJ Watt is the pass rush for the Steelers. Without him, it's non-existent. If you combine this with Nelson Aguilar mossing someone like he's one of his critics, and Gunnar Olszewski revealing himself as a double agent, New England escapes a battle between two fighters decades past their prime. The Steelers are embracing Matt Canada's namesake. Watered down, laughable, and a mockery of anything resembling an offense. To be frank, they're still lucky. They should be 0-2. If it were up to me, I would give both of these teams losses before the opening kickoff. However, that isn't able to happen, so we get this version of football hell. The question was such: who was going to lose this game? Joe Woods' porous defense or Matt Canada's bagged milk offense? Shockingly, there was some semblance of scoring in this game. It was truly incredible, but both teams kept looking behind themselves in the fear of blowing everything. Don't worry, Cleveland, you're playing the Steelers without TJ Watt. This rendition is puke held back by stubbornness and tradition. Nick Chubb and Jacoby Brissett played great games, and that's all they needed to win. Pittsburgh's game plan has been get bailed out by high-end talent for about a decade. It didn't happen here. As a result, Cleveland pulls away, despite making countless mistakes a real team would take advantage of. People in that city really think Canada's getting fired or Pickett's gonna start? These are the Steelers. They won't do a damn thing about it until February, when contracts conveniently expire. Like it would matter with this team anyway. Sometimes games just have to be played. Both these teams look absolutely awful in many aspects, but money has to be made. Plus, Zach Wilson's back in the saddle for the Jets. At this rate, we'll be sending an SOS for offensive help. The Steelers are completely useless at trying to move the ball forward, and their fan base is calling for heads. Meanwhile, Zach Wilson is trying to be the white LaMargarine. Some mixed results. All there is death. New York pulls the Philly special out, and Pittsburgh has to suffer through a white boy gritty. It's a painful 10-3 Jets lead at halftime, but then, a miracle. Kenny Pickett is in the game. Bless the football gods, for they have given this game actual purpose. Go and sling the ball down the field for glorious... Oh, motherfucker! We will ignore that interception. The Steeler might returns to the tune of 17 consecutive points. Dreams of going back to the Super Bowl flood the minds of Yinzers. But they forget something. The defense is limited by injuries and fatigue.
Mike Tomlin's baby can't get off the field as the Jets convert 3rd and 4th downs ad nauseum. They bend and bend until they give up a crucial touchdown. Then the second sin. Their offensive coordinator is still Matt Canada. His scheming is pathetic. Trying to force passes results in, yes, a crucial interception. Thanks to the Steelers' stubborn ways, the defense is getting exposed without TJ Watt. Zach Wilson is not only pounding Cougars, he's pounding the ball down the field. Pittsburgh, you were hoping to celebrate with a win. Instead, New York will send you to hell.
They'll give it to Hall. Looking for the end zone, and
I'm not even surprised they lost to the Jets. The Steelers do this every goddamn year. 3 straight winnable games they pissed away due to themselves. Maybe it's not playing down to competition this time. Maybe the Steelers just suck ass. They did fluke their way to about 6 wins last year. Shut the fuck up. Dear God. Pittsburgh is supposed to have the most expensive defense in the NFL. Did they mean they just bought a bunch of NFTs last year? Because I don't know how else to justify it. When the entire structure of a defense goes to absolute shit because of one injury, you have to wonder what the fuck the game plan even is. Buffalo destroyed anything that was supposed to resemble Steeler football. They outclassed them in every single facet of the game. Far superior in terms of talent. Vastly outcoaching them. Dissecting every organ of the team as a middle school science experiment. Pittsburgh best resembled an abandoned steel mill. It was productive a while ago, but now lies hollow and rusting. The sad part is it should have been even worse. Josh Allen missed a few big passes in the second half and let Pittsburgh destroy itself afterwards. Even in the scrums later on, the Bills beat the shit out of the Steelers. As I said, dear God, 1 in 7 is a very real possibility. It's not happening, goddammit! There's no need to go over this contest. Pittsburgh is a dead man walking and... they won? What the hell do you mean they won? Their entire secondary was out due to injury. Kenny Pickett had to leave the game in the second half due to a concussion. How did this happen? Tampa Bay may have an imposing exterior, but once you get to their soft underbelly, they're as fragile as porcelain. A backup offensive line serving a game plan running around in a circle featuring a quarterback so frail he'll need a walker by the end of the match. At this point, Tom would have better protection if he was surrounded by Microsoft Surface tablets. The Steelers may be a shit team that's overconfident in how they do things, but they took what the Bucs were willing to give. Both sides of the ball made plays. Devin Bush did something besides shit himself at linebacker. Mitch Trubisky made critical throws to break Matt Nagy once more. It was ugly as hell, but they somehow win against a team that should have destroyed them. Thank God I don't have to do a shitty Days of Our Steelers segment. That stale meme gets to stay dead. Fuck you, boys. You don't get your fan service today. Eat my dick. I'll embrace my false hope. The return of the king. Whether it's Tua for the Dolphins or Kenny Pickett for the Steelers, that will only be revealed in time. And this game neither really deserves such an honor. The real key piece coming back was obviously Stephen Ross. His guidance led the Dolphins to a strong offensive showing. If you ignore the roughly 5 interceptions Pittsburgh's secondary suddenly developed wax hands for. Starters were back for this game. What the hell gives? In the standard Steeler fashion for 2022, it's a winnable match they completely piss away. Miami was doing everything in their power to hand them a bullshit win. Tua was okay, but nothing special. Mike McDaniel thought he was special by going for it instead of taking the damn points. To go up by 2 scores. Even the analytics said to kick the field goal. Mike, with Matt Canada's middle school offense, they aren't scoring 10 points. If not that, Kenny Pickett decides to play hero ball and chuck horribly thrown picks. This isn't the ACC, Kenny. Defenses will eat you alive if you throw those ducks. The Dolphins self-sabotage themselves to a win, while the Steelers embrace a new standard. One of life without high-end talent to bail them out. Welcome to hell. Oh boy. A cross-state rivalry where the Eagles make Pittsburgh die like the steel mills. What a tremendous moment for us all. What the fuck are you guys? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, stop touching me! I want my goddamn phone call! Tonight, on Days of Our Steelers, The shameless remakes continue as there is no creativity in media whatsoever. Everywhere you look, the Black and Gold Brigade is falling to pieces. Without endless bullshit and high-end talent to bail them out, Philadelphia took no time in dissecting their opponent. Turns out it's hard to win football games when you take a ton of penalties and have no one to cover A.J. Brown. Or anyone to cover Kenny Pickett in the pocket. In this destruction, Kenny went scorched earth in the post-game press conference. The team doesn't study enough. They keep making the same fuck-ups over and over again. Mike Tomlin and his assistants sit around looking like expired coaching products. Philly dominated so blatantly that Batman made an appearance on the sidelines. Will the Steelers do anything to right the ship? Or will they simply chuck TJ Watt out there to drunkenly stumble back to 500? Like losing ways are slowly consuming the franchise, so are the days of our Steelers.
How the hell did the Steelers get a second-round pick for Claypool? Shouldn't have been worth more than a third, but if someone's willing to trade that for him, then you take it. Pittsburgh may be staring down the barrel of a long-avoided rebuild, but they can nab who they really wanted to draft in the 2016 draft in William Jackson. He may be skunked from being exposed to too much light, but he only cost a few pennies. Washington took on a ton of his cap as a sunken cost. Maybe they're playing long-range game and prepping for the tank bowl. This would have been a great matchup to watch a few years ago. We even got to experience it back at the Superdome in 2018. Now, though, we get their hollowed shells. Pittsburgh's at least getting TJ Watt back, but the Saints have no help coming. Their offense would be as rudderless as life without Sean Payton is. No traction for the running game, Andy Dalton firing blanks all day, being unable to do a damn thing whatsoever against Steeler might. The Pigeons lounging on the field had more life than the Saints. Their defense needs hazard pay. They put up that effort only to lose to a Matt Canada offense? That's embarrassing all its own. And there's nothing New Orleans can do to stop the bleeding. Thus results in an ugly-ass game that the Steelers have embraced winning. Mike Tomlin has now won against every team excluding the one he's coached. Philly can thank Pittsburgh for their win later. It only makes their extra first stronger. Tonight, on slow and painful deaths, more self-inflicted wounds in a season of woe. Mike Tomlin said this was the equivalent of a playoff game. Considering the Steelers continually fail in January, it was a fitting analogy. Against a team without two of their best stars in Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon, the Black and Gold Brigade curled up into a soft Tampa 2 cocoon. Horrendously inconsistent offense. Terrible Canadian play calling. A so-called elite defense that gets gashed by Samaje Perine, despite TJ Watt trying to play God. Once the second half started, it was over. The Steelers had the lead, but they hit their quota of scoring 20 offensive points. It's the story of Pittsburgh in 2022. Winnable games they find ways to piss away. And it leads to all but the end of the road for many narratives. Please, you have to help me. They've had me trapped in the basement for weeks. I've been surviving on nothing but stale bread and rat droppings. Please, do
Shut up!
What the fuck? Shut up!
As the past continues to die in the corner, so are the days of our Steelers.
I'm going septic.
This matchup has seen better days. In years past, it was Peyton against Big Ben. Today, it's the withering Matty Ice against Letterkenny. The game was between two bad football teams, and it played out like such. The Colts could do jack shit on offense for the first half, but are still in the game because Matt Canada's trying to outsmart himself for the 500th time this year. I'm more surprised the Steelers managed to score actual points in a football game. It's gotten that bad over here. Things look alright at half, but Indianapolis did this thing called adjusting. It's something the Steelers should look into sometime. After that big kick return to start, they march for a TD. They're about to ruin the hopes and dreams of Pittsburgh in about 5 minutes. Mostly thanks to some hilariously bad penalties. It's inevitable. But that was before the bullshit of Steeler football happened. A horrible fumble at the 1. It's like they were paying tribute to Jerome Bettis. Not that it matters. Pittsburgh still cannot offense, and Indy gets revenge with 7 points. But somehow, someway, the Steelers managed to move the ball. It's more due to Kenny Pickett and Benny Snell, but it's a sight to see. They do enough to pound the ball in for a touchdown to retake the lead. Indy will still get a chance to come back, though. Pittsburgh loves embracing the spirit of giving. Matty Ice leads the charges. Hey, Mr. Saturday, you can use your timeouts at any time. There's no prompt to call them, you have to use your hands to do it. 1 minute and 30 seconds pissed away. Good God, it's like this guy hasn't coached past high school. The Colts continue to colt as the Steelers somehow live. May we never speak of this game again. The Steelers are now 15-1 against the Falcons. Atlanta hasn't found a way to beat this damn team since 2006, and it's probably going to be another 4 years before they get another shot. If only the Falcons weren't the epitome of anti-clutch, they may have had a chance. Marcus Mariota completely missing big throws, key drops of others, and all failing to stop the plodding movement of an opponent who merely trots to victory. The Steeler offense at least doesn't look absolutely awful against weak defenses. Najee Harris killed a man. That was nice to see. Way too close for comfort with too many missed points on the board and George Pickens pissed off at not getting the ball, but it's progress. It was mostly due to Atlanta failing to make the most of all the chances they had and coming up short, but Pittsburgh has won back-to-back games somehow. The Steelers are really going to bullshit their way to a 500 record, aren't they? It's almost an absolute dogma by now. Absolute agony. Watching this game was like seeing a loved one die. It's a depressing experience where you try to remember the good times, but a stale, rotting air prevents you from doing so. How can I tell off the bat? No Kenny Pickett.
Oh my God! They killed Kenny! You bastard!
Pittsburgh must once again kiss the titties. It's a bad experience. Nothing but arm punts and brutal interceptions as far as the eye can see. Pickett hadn't had a turnover in 4 games. Trubisky had 3 in this game alone. Even worse, the most expensive defense in football couldn't stop the Ravens' running game. Over 200 yards on the ground for the likes of Dobbins and Edwards. Did I say it gets worse? Because it does. LaMarjarin's health was spread all over the field of play. Baltimore was forced to put in Pac-12 cast-off Anthony Brown at QB. They were a glorified Wildcat offense for most of the second half. The Ravens are literally handing Pittsburgh this game on a silver platter. They beg them to eat from the trough of ugly bullshit wins. But the Steelers are on a diet, refusing such foodstuffs to become the inverse of 2021. Winnable games they find ways to piss away. Baltimore was getting really damn close to blowing this, but their pain will temporarily be relieved. This is their first win against the Steelers since 2019. Thank you, Ravens. It was for the best. The playoff push is reaching its final stages. Only one spot has been clinched by Philadelphia, but 4 weeks remain. In the AFC, it's wide open. Buffalo currently has number 1 seed, but Kansas City is close behind, if only because of a head-to-head loss with the Bills. Baltimore currently has the AFC North lead in the 3rd spot, and Tennessee has a loosening grip of the caboose division in the AFC South. Wildcards are currently held by Cincinnati, Miami, and the Patriots, but the Chargers and Jets are tied with New England at 7-6. A few other teams are 5-8, but they're long shots at this point. The picture will become clearer as time goes on. And as we all know, there's only one rule to follow.
Don't get eliminated!
I have no idea how the hell this keeps happening, but the Carolina Panthers are only 1 game away from leading a division. That's how we know this year has been incredibly fucked. But we can't let the timeline get too chaotic for them. That responsibility will go to many other teams, as seen throughout the past week. Today, in front of a crowd of Pittsburgh transplants, their floundering hopes would be quashed by the Steelers. Their run game would be suffocated, and their unsung defense would be pounded to death in kind. This was against an opponent starting Mitch Trubisky. Sam Darnold isn't one to carry a team on his own, especially when TJ Watt's breathing down his neck. Heartbreak for the handful of Panthers fans who are somehow still paying attention to this team. This is probably one of the better games the Steelers have played all year. It would have been nice if they did this in the 6 losses they pissed away. God, this team's gonna bullshit their way to 9-8 and just miss a playoff spot. We've had quite a lot of teams reach playoff land this week, didn't we? It doesn't mean we're anywhere close to settling how things will shake out. The AFC has many spots open to claim. Only Buffalo and Kansas City have clinched, and the Bills still have number 1 seed. Cincinnati overtakes Baltimore for the AFC North lead, as Ravens fans wonder why they keep squandering chances. Tennessee is far past that point. They've lost 4 straight and are in an existential state of dread. And for good reason. Baltimore has sole possession of the first wildcard spot with 9 wins, but it's probably a disappointment to them. Same as Miami, who falls behind the Chargers for the second wildcard spot thanks to losing their matchup with them earlier in the year. The Jets and Patriots, both with back-breaking losses, are the first teams out with 7 wins. They should be careful. There are a ton of teams with 6 wins, including Jacksonville, who's only a game back of their division lead. This is gonna be quite fucky, isn't it? Everyone left, you know what to say.
Don't get eliminated!
It's been 50 years since the Immaculate Reception. This was supposed to be a day of celebration. A day where Franco Harris's number would be retired in a sea of yellow-toweled glory. However, with Franco's tragic death days before, it's turned into a bittersweet tribute on the field of play. Quite literally, as it's morphed into a sheet of ice. In the blistering winds of an Arctic storm, the game is plodding along. Would you call it a tribute to the 70s? I don't know, but the offensive output is pathetic on both sides. We know Pittsburgh's offense sucks. It's sucked for a few years now. But what about the Raiders? All I can say is that Derek Carr should start looking at real estate in other cities. He's most likely done in Las Vegas. He laid an egg. The whole unit did. Josh McDaniel showed how much of a shit coach he was, like he has in most losses this year. It's not that they're losing in regularity. It's how they're doing it. This guy's supposed to be an offensive guru, yet they can't properly utilize Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams? What the hell are you? The only reason why they have the lead is because Matt Canada exists and Chris Boswell suddenly can't kick a field goal. The Winds will do that, however, the Raiders can't capitalize. Pittsburgh has the final drive, and spirits must convene. They will be nudged closer and closer to the goal line, with every second drifting away. I think we have an idea how this will end.
Pickett over the middle. Touchdown! George Pickens!
A last-minute passing touchdown in a bitterly cold home game where the Steelers win 13-10 over the Raiders. The scriptwriters really need to stop being so obvious. It's like they're taunting us with these lazy remakes. Franco smiles from above in a probably meaningless win because the true prize was achieved, making the Raiders look terrible. With a few big losses this week, the NFL playoff picture has become a mosh pit, as has been written for time eternal. The AFC North is still neck and neck between Baltimore and Cincinnati. Guess who plays each other in Week 18? That contest will more than likely be for the division title. In the AFC South, same scenario. Tennessee has fallen apart so badly that Jacksonville now holds the division lead. No matter what happens next week, their matchup is guaranteed to be for the right to advance as division leader. There are no changes in the first 4 seeds, but Buffalo can clinch number 1 seed if a few things go their way next week. In the wildcards, we know either Baltimore or Cincy will get one, and the Chargers just clinched another. But with Miami in freefall, the 7th seed is now murky. The Jets and Patriots, despite being awful as of late, still have a fighting chance. The Titans and Jags can still technically be wildcards, but their best shot of making it is winning their division. Pittsburgh and Las Vegas are clinging on for dear life, and will need many miracles to make it.
Don't get eliminated!
It will be a cold day in hell when Mike Tomlin has a losing record. It doesn't have to have any logic or reason behind it. All that matters are narratives and the bullshit of Steeler football. When you're up against the Baltimore Ravens, a few things are guaranteed. Elite defense and an offense that doesn't know how to use its best weapons. They only ran Gus Edwards 3 times. They used Andy Isabella in the red zone as often as Edwards and J.K. Dobbins combined. They didn't have Lamar, but they're using imitation Lamar like he's the real thing. Of course they can't finish them off. Worst of all, they committed their greatest sin. They went out to a multi-score lead. This is death for the Ravens. And the Steelers are in a do-or-die situation. The Black and Gold Brigade is going to fight and claw for every inch. With a surprisingly efficient running game, the defense is holding this decrepit Roman offense to nothing. And Pittsburgh does have possession with the 4th quarter ticking down. Kenny Pickett, this is your time to shine. Amazing passes to get them to the red zone and give them a chance.
Pickett, flush, pressured, throws on the run, caught by Harris for a touchdown!
The bullshit is indeed real. As I said, it doesn't matter how it happens. Mike Tomlin will not be denied his prize of a winning record. Even better, the Steelers can still bullshit their way to the 7th seed with some help. Give thanks to Baltimore for reinforcing why I don't trust them. Tick, tick, Harbaugh and Roman. Tick, fucking tick. Thanks to the no contest ruling, there will be a few wrinkles. If the Bills and Chiefs make it to the AFC Championship game, it will be played on a neutral site. This will occur if both the Bills and Chiefs win or tie, or they both lose and the Ravens win or tie. If the Chiefs and Bengals reach the AFC Championship and the Bengals win in Week 18, it will be played on a neutral site. As for the AFC North title, if the Bengals lose to the Ravens, home field advantage will be decided by a coin toss. The premise for both is simple. Win and in, loser goes home. They put the game on Saturday night, though. Strange. As for the 7th seed in the AFC, some form of cannon fodder will secure it. New England controls their own destiny with a win and in scenario. Miami needs New England to lose and them to win to escape humiliation. The Steelers are still alive. They can somehow bullshit their way to it with a win and New England and Miami losing. Somehow. Fucking ridiculous.
Don't get eliminated!
The 7th seed is an abomination that should not exist. All of these teams will be cannon fodder for the Bills in the wild card. But the NFL likes money. So we get this scenario. The Patriots are win and in. The Dolphins need a win and a Pats loss. The Steelers can bullshit to another playoff berth with a win and New England and Miami losses. New England must bow out. This is for DeMar. The rest of the NFL's been waiting to say this for a long time, Pats fans. Welcome to hell. The narrative of Mike Tomlin not having a losing season must remain intact. It doesn't matter that team coaching is a big reason as to why the Steelers are on the playoff bubble and pissed away about 6 games this year. There is no asterisk when you continually best Cleveland in every aspect. As always, tradition and narratives must be maintained. Any success the Browns have against the Steelers must be fleeting and brief. Deshaun Watson will learn a word he hasn't heard a lot of in his time. No. He will be victimized by the steel curtain at least 7 times as Kenny Pickett manages to outduel him. Somehow. It was probably the most convincing victory of the season, and guarantees no one in the national media will shut up about Mike Tomlin's winning seasons. But their goals are greater. They must look to Miami for any hope of a postseason. Please, Jason Sanders, put us out of our misery.
On the way, down the middle, with distance.
Well, Steelers, this is what happens when you have to rely on the Jets to do anything good. They ironically treated it like you did with your early contests. Winnable games, you find ways to piss away. The fluke 9-win seasons are the modern answer to the Steelers going to the Super Bowl. Don't shoot for excellence, but for stability. Tradition and loyalty are the keys to happiness. Ignore that there are major issues in team coaching and the defense is useless without a healthy TJ Watt. They'll just blame injuries for this season instead of the real concern. Winnable games, you find ways to piss away. There were at least 6 of them throughout the year, and it cost them any hope with a 3-7 start. All signs point to the Tomlin narrative ending, right? Nope, that has to continue on. There is some promise here. Kenny Pickett looked more and more confident as the season progressed, which is the perfect reason to keep the guy who's consistently held back the offense all season. Why is Matt Canada still here? Any improvements the offense made in the second half were in spite of him. Most of those big drives were in the 2-minute drill with Pickett calling the shots. You're keeping a guy that didn't implement hot routes in the offense. It's ass-backwards shit like this that has this team drive me up a wall. They are in football hell right now. That cannot be denied. Hopefully Pickett can keep improving, but if not, well, they can always sign Taylor Lewan and draft Joey Porter Jr. They're totally gonna do it too, just you watch.